After 1,070 episodes, One Piece finally gets good, because episode 1,071 is insane. I'm joking, of course. I'm a massive meat rodder of One Piece. I've been a fan ever since, like, the first episode. I'm up to date on the current chapter of the manga, and recently, well, actually yesterday, an episode of One Piece came out, 1071, where they animated possibly one of the biggest moments to date in One Piece history. And that is, of course, Gear 5, Luffy's new ability that basically turns him into a Looney Tunes character. And I was going to say spoiler warning before that, but if you clicked on this video with the title and the thumbnail, you were asking to get spoiled. You did this to yourself. You brought this upon yourself. Regardless, I wanted to show you some clips from the Crunchyroll YouTube where they uploaded Gear 5 and then Gear 5 Luffy versus Kaido, just to show you how insanely fun this is now that it's been animated. And if you've been keeping up with One Piece, you know, the manga and the anime, you know what's been leading up to Gear 5. It happened during his fight with Kaido and Wano, and it's all because of his devil fruit, the Gum Gum fruit, which turns out, after you hear the old men who run the world, they're discussing the fruit and they say, oh, actually, you thought Luffy's fruit just turned him into a rubber man, but actually this fruit basically turns you into a god. It's a fruit of the gods. It turns you into the sun god Nika, and you can basically do whatever you want and nobody can stop you. One of the old dudes with the mustache said that it was literally the most powerful devil fruit in existence. And you can definitely tell that whenever you're watching Luffy here. It just turns him into an absolute goofball, a goofy goober to the max. And he literally is bringing in goofy sound effects into One Piece. Every time he jumps around, it goes boing, doing, doing. It's literally like they're dragging and dropping a sound effect from a package called Goofy sound effects, just cartoon sound effects that they're importing in and placing at random, because it genuinely just feels like I'm watching an episode of Looney Tunes, and I love it. He just yanked Kaido out of the building like he was a toddler pulling his favorite toy out of the toy box just to go use and abuse it. Just like it was such an insignificant little thing, he just plucked him out. And Kaido's one of the strongest people in this universe. And I just think it's so great. This episode is making me feel like I'm watching an episode of Roadrunner. Is that what the show? I don't know what the cartoon was called, but basically it makes me feel like I'm watching Wile E. Coyote run into a painted-on tunnel for the 30th time. It just never gets old. These goofy, silly, fun, wacky little cartoons just never get old. And the fact that this is being implemented into one of my absolute favorite anime in history, I love it. It doesn't. This is peak One Piece. This is it has to be where One Piece peaks. Even when they discover what the One Piece is, I don't think it gets better than this episode. This guy Luffy even got those inflatable anchor arms like SpongeBob. He just puffs them up and blows them up, and boom, he's got muscles. And then when he punches Kaido, his eyes do that thing where they stay while his body leaves. And he even gave him the little Tweety bird, the little stars above his head. This guy Luffy, when he uses this ability, the Gear 5, literally just makes the world into his own creation. He is the creator at that point. The dude is he's willing things into existence. That is how absurd this power is. The animators on this episode had to be working overtime. They had to be working their fingers to the bone with no extra pay, because I know the animation industry in Japan is kind of messed up, but regardless, they deserve a hearty pat on the back, if nothing else. They deserve a good slap on the butt, say good game, champ, because this quality is ridiculous. And the sound effects, whoever did the sound effects, give them a raise. Or give them like a little cup of coffee or something. Give them a reward, a good noodle star, because they deserve it. These sound effects are really what's tying this episode together. The goofy cartoon sound effects never get old. I could listen to just Looney Tunes sound effects all day long, and it would be better than the best playlist ever created. Those sound effects just put such a big grin on my face, and I just can't stop smiling, because you can literally think about the goofiest little scenarios in your head, create your own little cartoons from those sound effects. Luffy just violated Kado so hard he gave him a cartoon bump with some stars around it. That's how you know you got bodied if you're in Tom and Jerry. And this guy just got bodied in a different cartoon universe. Luffy is literally pulling things from other cartoon verses and bringing them into his universe where they previously didn't exist. Now that is the definition of overpowered. He has maybe he has too much power when he's in Gear 5. It's absurd. One Piece has officially peaked. I'm very glad this finally got animated, because when I read this in the manga, I knew it was going to be a good anime episode. I didn't even take into consideration the Looney Tunes sound effects, which really just make it insane. So fun to watch. I could watch this episode over and over and over and never get tired of it. And it's not finished. The fight isn't over, although I already know how it finishes because, like I said, I read the manga. But it's to be continued, how they do in every single anime to ever exist. Dragon Ball Z is pretty much the person who started that trend. I like to blame them for that to be continued in the middle of a fight thing. But I'm assuming we're going to get the finale of this fight next week. So that's something to look forward to. Some more cartoon sound effects, some more silly fight scenes. And then after that, it only keeps going up, because where the manga's at right now is pretty insane. I'm not going to get into spoilers. I'm not going to talk about that. But this right here, I just wanted to talk about it because it is one of the biggest moments in One Piece so far. And I love every second. I love this series. I love Echira Oda. I love everything. I love it. I love it. I can't say anything else besides I love it. Gear 5 Luffy looks awesome, sounds awesome, is awesome. Everything about this, spectacular. But I'll catch you in the next one.